how best can these people help the young people overcome the mental disturbances?
Actually, much as coming to serve the youth is very important, it is something you should do when you have failed. Don't exhaust serve the youth. First, do the first line work.
Because you stay with this person.
Do the first line work.
With this person most of the time.
Exactly. Do the first line work. And part of the first line works that you should do, number one, is listen without judgment.
I understand, because most people might fail to open up to their parents or their elders because they fear they're going to be judged. And the average
adult will listen with preconceptions in their head. They will listen only ready to respond.
We're about to make the adults play that we listen, we don't get.
They listen because they want to respond what is on their mind. They don't listen to understand this person's point of view. Many things may not be concerns for you as an adult, but for a young person, this is a big thing.
Very true.
Denying them a particular thing, denying them to go and see a particular friend could be minor for you, but they could be sharing deeply with that particular friend. So listen to their point of view, listen to their why, listen to what informs their judgment, to what informs their thinking, and then you will be able to help them better. Listen to understand. Listen, just tell them that I understand that. I can imagine what you're going through.
When you give that kind of explanation, it reminds me that our friends, I don't want to call them the Europeans, but the whites have a better understanding of this, because you will fear to approach your African parents and have particular discussions about particular topics, because of course they will judge you. So this is just a message to inform the African parents to be as open-minded as possible, because you might judge this child, but then you lead them to a more traumatizing thing.
Exactly.
Instead of giving them the help that they would actually need.
And also, lastly, as part of listening, when you listen to your child, when you listen to your employee, take it upon yourself to be mature enough not to share what you have heard, unless you are sharing it with a professional, unless you are sharing it with a purpose of helping them. But many parents share with their children, and before you know it, they are telling the next parent. And before you know it, they are telling the neighbor.
And the relatives.
It is so sad and unbecoming of you as a parent to begin sharing your child's struggles with another parent, unless you are doing so with an intent of helping the child. So, number 2 on the first line intervention, validate the young person's worry. Validate that person is worried. If Bridget is worried about a particular thing, don't dismiss their worries. First tell them that, you must be worried. You must be worried. Validate their worry before telling them that don't worry.
Before going to the solution.
Exactly. Because when people meet people that are worried, they want to tell them, don't worry, things will validate their worry. Understand why they are worrying. And tell them, you must be worried about this. It is worrying. Acknowledge it before you begin intervening. Now, number 3 is check-ins. Check-ins.
Elaborate more about that.
By check-ins, I mean reach out to a particular person at different intervals. If you have been checking on Carol once a day, try calling them in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening to know how they are faring. It does a lot. You know, we are social creatures. Humans are social creatures. And that is why I always say isolation leads to termination.
Termination of?
Leads to termination in so many ways. If you are isolated, you can be easily terminated from your workplace. If you are always isolated, you are easily terminated from deals. If you are always isolated, you are easily attacked. You know, in the jungle, I am an advocate of wildlife. By the way, I used to be president of wildlife while I was in high school. But in the jungle, the lion cannot attack two cheetahs. It can't. What it does, it is that it will roar until the cheetahs separate. And when they run separated,
it knows that
it focuses on that one that has isolated, the one that is perhaps not running fast. And that is how it is not different. It is not different with us humans. Every time you are together, every time you are with people, it becomes hard for particular people to fight you. So you are a social creature. You know, we live in a world where so many people are ignorantly advocating for you can do everything alone, you can move alone, you
are independent.
It is such a mediocre statement that mediocre people are taking on and actually publicizing. It is wrong. You are a social creature. Even the good book, you could be an unbeliever, whoever is watching, but even the good book says, even God sat and said, it is not good for man to be alone. So interactions, companionship is very key to effective mental health for you as an individual.